G'day everyone, welcome to another edition of Craps Down Under. Apologies for not doing another video in the last couple of days. It's been awesome weather here today and the last few days in Queensland, so been out enjoying that, lots of sun, probably too many beers, but it's been beautiful. So anyway, let's get started. We're 4,400 and I know we had some left over. 2, 3, 4, and I don't, yeah, that's right, I remember I didn't colour this up all properly. So 31, is that right? Yeah, 31. Alright, so I've got 1,031 here. Target's $200 to $300. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in a bit harder today. I'm going to basically go back to when I first did the 568. I'm going to play it at a little bit higher level, which was basically playing at 35 on the 5 and 42 on the 6 and 8. And 3 presses and we're collecting a black chip. And that's the plan. So we'll see how we do. And I'm going to just sort of persist with it. I've got enough bankroll for almost 10 shooters. That is about $119 of action. So hopefully we'll get there, and we don't plough through the whole lot. But there is something to be said by winning with less bets, and winning with less number of bets is actually less risk. So let's see how we go. We've got a yo, doesn't affect us, and we've got a 10, so the point's going to be a 10. And back to back 10. Alright, we're still on. Wow, this shooter's not doing anything for us. He's rolling everything else but what we want to see. That's midnight. And finally we got our 8. Alright. So I'm being a little bit less picky with the shooter as well. In fact, what we do is we pass the deal at $2, and what this does is that the dollar is for the 49 to make it to 50. The extra dollar there basically allows this to be pressed up perfectly evenly. And if you've seen my other videos, you will have seen this, because that becomes a 5 and that 2 goes there, and these remaining, that 2 stays there, and this remaining becomes a 25. That gets put on our 8, and that's how it works. Now they've hit the point. Oh no, they've set the point, that's right. We just set the point, so we don't need the little lamina. So now we'll see if they can, wow, so we got it. We got a 6, which pays 70. Alright, that's pays 70. Now, for this one, we do have to hand a little bit more. We have to pass 15, but that allows us to press up, and well, this becomes a green. Alright, it becomes a green. And we get our caps of 3. So pressed up to 90, 90, 75. This will pay a black chip if we get it. Yo. Now, something we can do is do that. Whoops. Need to pick up the dice, not the chips. And that, unfortunately, was adding the field that ruined it. All right, so we miss all that. We get nothing, and that all goes to the house. So up we go again. We are gonna go through our bankroll a lot quicker. I've done this with a $600 bankroll many times, and you do tend to find you'll get one roll that'll get you home. Aces. 4 came hard. And we've got our 6. So 50, I'll pay that and I'll get 3 back. All right, and this all just gets all pressed up. Don't need to go through it all, we've already seen it. I'll just take all this back to the dealer. Press up the bet properly. All right, so 50, 60, 60. Now we've got 6, came hard. So again, we're going to get paid 70. Need to pass 15, and this will all get pressed up. And got a 6, so there's a black chip. 105. Now we can regress here, and by regressing we lock in an extra, if we lock that down we get an extra $70. I'm aware we've had a few losses, so I'm going to try and see if we can get a run. It is more risky, of course. Yo. 9, we're not on the 9. Maybe we should be. Got the 5. I'm glad we didn't move. Another 105. So that's paid for a couple of our losses that we've had. Almost, maybe not all of them. If I pull down and go down this next layer and just go back down to that level, that's not taking all the profit off the board. That's still leaving some of our profit pressed up. I can again go all the way back down to what we started at, and if I do that, we get a lot closer to what we started. Now, looking at what I've got here, I've still got basically almost $90. I've got $100. I've got 200 here. So I'm just looking at what I've got, and I'm just going to do a quick check because it might be close enough. Might be close enough. All right, so if I do that, that colours up to a 25. So that's 100. So I can throw myself a black chip in there. All right, so I've got 3 black chips here. That's basically that. If I put that in my rack, all right, 400, 500, 500 in a rack, 515, 19, and I've got 200. Now, yes, we had, I think it was 31, but that's kind of close enough. I don't actually need to risk it anymore. I can just say good enough, and we're done. So profit reached. Now, yes, it's slightly under. You know, we could try and eke out the few extra dollars. It's just not worth it. Let's see what the shooter does. And there's the 7. So sometimes it pays to not push it too much, and sometimes you miss out on a lot of profit. So I'm going to say that's that session done. Got our 200. We had to put it on the line a little bit, but that's okay. You know, we've still got our $1,000 and what was that, 19? $1,000 and 19, yeah, 1,019. Is that instead of, what was it, 130, 1,031? So it's close enough, and I don't need to risk any more to make a few extra bucks. So I'll call that a session done, chalk it up as a win. We've still got more than $1,000 in our bankroll, and we don't really need to do much more than that. So I'll probably continue, now that we've got all these reserve bankrolls behind us, I'll probably start betting a little bit bolder now. We had to nurse our bankroll along to get to this point, and we have had to really nurse it and be very, very, very conservative. This is where I've sort of come out a bit stronger here. Now it could have backfired and we could have just got PSO, 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 PSO and just ploughed through $120 a time. That could certainly happen, and I have no doubt that it is going to happen. But that's why we're building these. These aren't here just to collect. These are here so we can play a little bit bolder in our sessions. That the whole point of that is to be able to play a bit bolder in our sessions, get in and get out quicker with any luck, because of the level we're playing at. You know, we can make our profit target quicker. So yeah, the whole point of this is to give us more resilience, and you know, potentially when we play at this level and we're on a roll, we potentially might overshoot our profit target, and do that quite easily when you get a hot shooter come along. So that can also certainly happen. So but I am kind of very conscious of where we are with our bankroll and where we are with our profit target. That I do like to take my profit when I get my profit, and I don't like to have any more exposure than I absolutely need to get my profit. So, but there is something to be said. If you're on a hot shooter, just keep riding them until riding that hot shooter all the way. Potentially, you know, that can pay off, but more than often it doesn't pay off, and that's kind of what I've to date. I've been very conservative, and the conservative play has worked. And do remember that the only thing that really changes in the game is the colour of the chips. You know, we still have to play within the parameters of our bankroll, right? And you know, the number of adverse events we can survive in our session bankroll, it still needs to be relatively responsible betting for what we're bringing in our session. So they're all things we need to keep in mind and not lose track of, because these are the way we've been playing is what's given us the success so far. So anyway, I'll leave it there. Thank you for watching. See you again soon.